All right, we have one more piece of audio. It's long. I'm going to play it. This is Ghislaine Maxwell. Again, we're toggling between Bolton and this because, you know, it's a Friday. This is Ghislaine Maxwell talking about the list, or the lack thereof, she says.
Do you know, do you have a list of names in your head or names that come to mind of people that you know did get massages when they were with Mr. Epstein?
No, there's no list. There's no list of people getting massages. I don't have, I can barely recall all the people. I can barely recall, I struggle to recall actual people that I met, and I may have met a long time, but I had even forgotten that about Mr. Kennedy, or I probably brought it up yesterday. It just came to my mind now. So I don't have, and there's no list. There was never a list. There was no, or certainly none that I ever saw, none I ever heard of, none that I ever witnessed, none that there's no list. There's never been a list.
And you never heard Mr. Epstein talk about such a list?
Never.
And you never heard Mr. Epstein suggest that he had some sort of control over somebody because of what he knew about what they had done, or had photos of him?
I never heard him. No, I never heard him ask questions about that. I never heard him. So I've been present many times with masseuses. I never, who presumably could or maybe did massage somebody. I'm not saying whether they did. I'm not just in the context. I never heard him ask any question of any masseuse who may have given a massage to a friend who was on the island or in Palm Beach or anywhere else for that, any details about that massage.
Jake?
So there are a lot of questions about massages in this passage here, but right below where I was just reading, Maxwell, speaking of Epstein, says he's not they've made him into this, he's not that interesting, she says of Jeffrey Epstein. I quote again, he's a disgusting guy who did terrible things to young kids. You're not going to hear me say what he did to people who wasn't there. I didn't see it.
Are you seeing a lot of reaction from MAGA World? Because we're looking, and we have, you know, some stuff from Laura Loomer, but it's not much. We're not seeing a whole lot.
I have a list that I keep. I'm not going to put the name of it and then just private. I'm not going to do that on live TV. I'm not seeing the usual suspects come in real hot and heavy here just yet, other than Jack Posobiec, who sort of took the role as kind of the heir to being the next Rush Limbaugh. He's been blasting out the thing about Maxwell saying that Epstein, she believes, didn't kill himself.